Hey y'all, happy Friday. Welcome to Plant-Based Made Easy. My name is Chef D Malfi and welcome to my kitchen. Thank you for joining me. I'm very excited because today we are going to be making our sweet treat to roll right into the weekend. We are making dessert. These are cookies that are super quick and easy to make, and they're jam-packed with nutrients. These are almond thumbprint cookies. Now, I don't know about you, but I love a good thumbprint cookie because I love the combo of a crumbly kind of shortbread-like cookie mixed with some fruit spread or jam. They are so yummy. And if you follow me on Instagram, you saw that I was prepping this recipe at midnight last night because I was just feeling the cookie spirit, and they are darn good. So today I'm gonna make another batch with you. I have my parents coming over for dinner tonight, and it's gonna be really fun to share these with my family. This is also a really great recipe to do with your loved ones, especially your kiddos. If you have kids in the house that are really curious about cooking, get them into the kitchen with you for this recipe. All right, the first thing we need to do is we need to preheat our oven to 350 degrees, which I'm gonna make sure I do right now. Perfect. All right, so let's get going. We're gonna start by making the cookie batter. This is really simple. The first ingredient that we need is blanched almond flour, all right? Now, you can make almond flour by yourself inside of a food processor or a high-speed blender, and all you would need to do is grab raw slivered almonds, just like this. I'm gonna challenge you to find the slivered almond kind, the kind that don't have any of the skins intact, because this is going to give you that like white almond flour look and feel. Now, almond flour is fantastic. I absolutely love it. In only 1/4 of a cup, you're gonna get 6 grams of protein. So it has a ton of protein, way more than all-purpose flour. And I'm gonna use 2 full cups for this. And it doesn't have to be, leveled out exactly because it isn't gluten flour. Now, these cookies are naturally gluten-free. They're naturally dairy-free, and they're naturally sugar-free. So it's a win-win-win in my book all around. All right, that's going to be my almond flour. Now, I know this is blanched almond flour, and you too can actually blanch, meaning you can actually take some boiling water, throw in your slivered almonds, that's what these are, and then remove them after about 1 minute and put them into a shock bath of ice water, right? And then you would have blanched almonds. And what that does is actually sort of like pre-cooks the nuts, which makes it nice. It's sort of like, I don't know what it does, softens the nuts, makes it very easy to digest and delicious. So I'm gonna leave this here. In case you're curious, that's what I'm using. All right, the next ingredient that we want is just a little tiny pinch of sea salt. I'm gonna use regular sea salt today. It's my absolute favorite kind of salt, and I'm new to the sea salt world, but I love it because you can see it's really, really fine salt. It also has a mildly salty flavor. So I actually was raised on kosher salt, and then I trained as a chef and used kosher salt in my cooking career exclusively because that's what I'm trained to do as a chef. That's how we're trained to cook, is using the kosher salt. But that tends to be a little bit more salty in flavor. The sea salt I like because it's unprocessed and it's super natural and it's fine. So I can grab more and I can just really control how much salt that I'm using. And I like that it's natural. All right, so those are the dry ingredients. Pretty simple, right? Just the salt and the blanched almond flour. You could use the almond meal, which looks like the almond flour that's blanched in this bag here, but it has the skins intact, so it's gonna be fleckled. Fleckled, that's a new word. It's fleckled, friends. It's fleckled with the skin and the inside or the fruit of the nut itself. And by fleckled, I mean freckled or speckled. But I like the almond flour because it's just kind of blanched and it's white. It has a really nice kind of clean look and color, which is wonderful. Now let me get another bowl. I'm gonna grab my glass bowl here so you can follow along with me. And I'm going to make the wet ingredients, all right? It doesn't matter, you can do this any order. You can do the wet ingredients first or the dry ingredients, but just make them in different bowls. All right, I'm gonna start with a 1/4 cup of, you can use any oil that you want. Today I'm gonna use pure avocado oil. Now the recipe that I'm referencing, it's actually from my August 2020 Plant-Based Made Easy cookbook right here. You can see in the overhead cam, we are on almond thumbprint cookies. That's the recipe. And it says light olive flavored oil. Doesn't matter though. You can use extra virgin olive oil, which is going to impart a much more strong olivey flavor, or you can use avocado oil. And this has really great, good omega fatty acids. You could also use coconut oil. This would be absolutely fantastic. And this is triple filter. This would be wonderful. So the choice is yours. I'm going to use avocado oil though, because it is neutral in flavor and it is heart healthy. So it's going to make me feel good, and it's not going to impart any flavor whatsoever. But I would also use olive oil if I wanted to. And if you want to use coconut oil, no, it's going to just give you a little bit of that coconut flavor. All right, the next thing I want is a natural sweetener. Today I'm going to use organic maple syrup. This is an unprocessed sweetener. It comes right from the maple tree itself. We thank the maple tree for this maple syrup. This is nice, delicious tree sap. I love maple syrup, and I really want to opt in for organic if I can find it. It's only like 10 or 25 cents more. Sometimes I've even seen that organic and conventional maple syrup is actually the same price. It was really interesting. I went to Trader Joe's a couple days ago, and I noticed that many items, organic and conventional, of the same item were the exact same price. I'll post a picture of it on my Instagram today. I saw baby broccolini, which can sometimes be quite expensive. There was conventional and there was organic side by side on the same shelf right next to each other for $2.79. And I thought, oh, this is awesome. Organic and conventional prices should be the same price. And that is, that's up to us, folks. If we actually use our shopping cart as a political statement, if we want to see more organic in the grocery store, we've got to buy more organic to help that price come down. Now, the next ingredient is our flavor agent. I'm going to use vanilla extract, but you can use anything. Almond extract. That's probably the extent there. You could use orange extract or lemon extract. That would be phenomenal depending on what kind of jam you use as well. Almond extract will impart more of an almondy flavor. Vanilla extract is just going to make it kind of like hum and sing. It's like one of these really great flavors that you can't really taste vanilla in the final product, but it enhances everything else. So we're going to use 2 teaspoons of vanilla extract. And this is non-alcoholic base vanilla extract. It's actually vegetable glycerin base, which I really, really like. And you can see right on the label, you see it says alcohol free. I myself prefer this one because it has a cleaner flavor. I don't really love that the extracts that are alcohol based because it actually tastes like alcohol in my opinion. All right, I'm gonna put that aside. And now what I need to do is give this a little whisk. And by little whisk, I don't mean a mini whisk, although I found this in my drawer and I said, I have to show this to them. This is so cute, right? I love this. I'm going to get my big whisk, and you want to whisk this up. It's kind of like an emulsified dressing or like a sauce. It's like that thickness or consistency. The maple syrup with the oil is going to actually feel very viscous and thick. You guys see, I'm going to show you in the overhead cam too, right? It's all kind of like viscous and thick and delicious. This is perfect. I just need to give it a quick little mix. Now, let's combine these things. I want to add the wet ingredients to the almond flour and salt mixture. I realized I hadn't mixed into the salt, so I need to mix the salt in, make sure that's just not sitting at the top. All right, now throw all of this in. Let me grab a spatula too, because I want to make sure I'm getting every single drop of this. I don't want to miss a single drop. I've said this before. Working in restaurants really trains you to like not waste a thing. You want to use as much and everything as possible in every recipe. Clean as a whistle. Look, I don't even have to throw in the dishwasher. Just kidding. All right, so now I'm going to take my spoon. You can use a spatula as well, but just give this a mix. This is a wonderful and quick and easy cookie recipe because it doesn't require any refrigeration. You know, sometimes you make cookie dough and you have to refrigerate it, especially cookie doughs that require the use of butter. And I don't like waiting for my cookie dough to chill. It's like, I will do it occasionally, but I really prefer the quick cookie recipes just like this. And I just want to make sure everything feels wet and moist and well mixed. I don't want to see any streaks of salts. I don't want to see any streaks of maple syrup. I want everything to be well mixed, and I don't want any big clumps of the almond flour. Perfect. See how quick that was? This is my batter, and it's ready for rolling. So let's roll. This recipe makes quite a lot. I'm going to grab my baking sheet or sheet tray here, and I have it lined with a BPA-free cut your own size liner. This is like parchment paper, but it's not single use. It's actually sustainable. You can use it again and again and again, and you can put it in the dishwasher too. Simply place this down and make sure you have some sort of parchment or hopefully a sill pad or the sustainable BPA liners, because we really don't want to use single-use products anymore. We want to try to move away from that. That's really kind of like in the vein of living a plant-based life too. We had the question come up yesterday, like what is plant-based living versus plant-based eating? And it's really kind of like the mentality of bringing your values outside of just extending them from the kitchen, outside the kitchen, and into every other aspect of your life. So it really is about the other types of things that we use in the kitchen, like our baking ware, our single-use stuff like plastics, Ziploc bags, things like makeup, things like leather products, things like leather furniture. It's all up to your own preference. Obviously, I'm not absolutely not trying to push my values on anyone, but I'm just sharing that that's what it means to live a plant-based lifestyle. In my opinion, I think that it's all about really taking our values from how we eat and imbuing them into all other aspects of the way that we live. And you can see I'm making these kind of big giant, what would you call these? They look like spinning tops. Do you see? They kind of like have a top on both, like a point on both sides. It's kind of like how I roll. I don't know. It's how I roll. But you can make them, just like roll them into balls. And I'm not going to be able to place as many as I want on this cookie sheet. I won't be able to actually roll all this batter because I actually bake inside of a mini oven right behind me. You can see. So my cookie sheet is mini too. We'll do one more and then I will show you actually the next step. This is the final step. Let's do it. Let me bring my cookie sheet over. All right, so now what we want to do is we want to actually create a thumbprint. Now you can do this with a circular half teaspoon, just like this, but this is oblong and not actually circular. So I'm just going to use my thumb instead. Take your thumb and you're actually going to press it down. Hey, Danny, can we do the overhead without my face just so they can see this a little bigger? Thank you. So you see that I'm just kind of like pressing my thumb in, and this is all about the thumbprint cookie. This is what makes a thumbprint cookie is using your thumb. The best tool in the kitchen are your hands and your fingers. Seriously, no better tools. But you're trying to make a indent about thumb size, right? So a half teaspoon that's circular usually makes about a thumb size imprint. That's what we want. Now, the next thing that we want is to actually incorporate the jam. So you can use any kind of jam that you want. I absolutely love this kind, and I want to show you. This is wild blueberry spread. This stuff is so good. And here's an opportunity for you to use fruit spread as opposed to jam or jelly, which contain a lot more sugar. And I love the wild blueberry fruit spread because it is super jam-packed with nutrients. Wild blueberries have to like strain in nature. And so they're more full of the phytonutrients. Those are the antioxidants that make them heart healthy and delicious for our brains and our hearts. So you can use that. I actually pre-made some already with this wild fruit spread, and it's divine. And I'm going to do a different fruit spread for these cookies because I already told you I made some already. I'm going to use the Divina orange fig spread. These are going to be really, really great. And then I have a special little addition that I will add. So the first thing that I want is half a teaspoon for each of the thumb imprint holes that we've just made. Just fill it up. And then you can add any additions to the cookie as well. I'll talk about it now as I'm filling because this is not going to take very long. You could add Maldon sea salt. If you're not whole food plant-based and you're not watching your sodium levels, Maldon sea salt is that flake salt. That would be phenomenal and make these kind of extra salty. But it's kind of great because you'll get that salty sweet. I think today what I'm going to use is a little bit of the slivered raw almonds that I just showed you that you could actually make almond flour from. These. I actually took them and I chopped them up, and I'm going to put some of these raw almonds on. Before I do that, I have one other secret ingredient. I have some fresh rosemary that I minced. You see that? Fresh rosemary is going to be really great with these thumbprint cookies, and I'm just going to like put a little tiny garnish on each. Goes right over the jam and the cookie. And this is going to be nice. I love using fresh herbs in cookies. I think that it's a wonderful way to incorporate herbs and the flavor of herbs into your dishes. And this is going to be beautiful. And just a little bit goes a very long way. And then obviously we want some almonds. This is just for garnish to make it look even prettier. You don't have to use the almonds, but I kind of like using them because it kind of helps to keep the jelly or the jam or the fruit spread intact. Kind of as the barrier for it, like holds it down. It weighs down the jam so that it doesn't bubble over and you lose the jam. Yeah, let's do a question from Danny Green, who's sitting right next to me. I think of rosemary as a savory spice. Why use it here on these sweet cookies? Great question, Danny. I like using the rosemary, like herbs, with the sweet ingredients because it's not what people are expecting. And then when they take a bite, they're like, oh, what is that? There's something about the roundness and the herbaceous quality of herbs that make something, I really think that it kind of enhances a dish. It like makes it very gourmet. So that's why I'm using rosemary in these. But almonds, the almond batter that we're making these cookies from, it will really work with the rosemary. And we have some fresh rosemary on hand. So I thought, why not chop it up and just throw it right on these cookies? I might just add just a little bit more so you can see on the cookie itself these little flakes of rosemary. You could do this with dry herbs too, but I actually really prefer the fresh herbs for this. It looks like they're dried, but they're actually really fresh. They're super green. They're super fragrant. And it's just going to add another layer that I love. All right, so these are going to go right into the oven. It's going to take about 20 minutes or so, but you won't have to wait because I've already baked off a batch for you. Didn't want you to have to wait. Take a look at these. These are from yesterday. These look so darn delicious. These are the superfood wild blueberry jam in the middle. I did the little almonds as well. They bake up. They get nice and golden brown and delicious. What do you think? They're simple. They're super easy. This did not take long to make at all. I think I need to plate a few. I love to just like serve these, a lot of these on a little dish. So pretty. Gorgeous. Nobody's going to say no to that. That just took us no time whatsoever. You can bake these, make them fresh. If you have people coming over, this is a really easy recipe to just kind of have on hand. All you really need is the almond flour. This is the biggie, or the hard to find, can be hard to find ingredient, but really, truly not so hard to find anymore. Trader Joe's, Whole Foods, Mother's Market, let's see, Sprouts Market, Safeway, Vons, Ralph's, Albertsons, you name it, Thrive Market, all of the delivery systems will have it as well. Yeah, I think I'm going to need to give this a little taste. I'll go for this one. I want like it kind of like extra crispy. Mm-hmm. So good. Danny, you want to try? He's busy. Get into it. You guys, these are so darn good. Come on. You got to make them. You got to try them. Make them your own. If you do make them your own, and if you change the recipe, use a different jam, use a different herb, use a different almond, let a sister know. I would love to see your delicious dishes. If you make any of these recipes from this week or from the Plant-Based Made Easy cookbook, that's this. Please post it in our Facebook group, Plant-Based Made Easy. We are 800 and growing. We are people from all over the world. I am absolutely adoring this community. Let's see, we have Denmark, we have Bangladesh, we have Trinidad, we have Abu Dhabi, all over. Thank you so much for being here. I appreciate every single one of you. I hope that you got something from this recipe. Please get in touch with me if you have any questions along your plant-based journey. I want to support you. Have a wonderful weekend, and I will see you next week. Ciao for now. Peace.